So I think it was back in 2019 that PayPal offered me a pretty juicy deal. Okay, kind of like the Godfather, an offer that I couldn't refuse. So to give you some context, it was in 2018 that I got started with e-com and I was doing dropshipping. And as a payment processor, I was using both Stripe and PayPal like everybody else. And at first I was making nothing because it was my first ever business. And it took me a good 2-3 months to start breaking even. But then things started to pick up and I went from 3K a month to 14K, then to 30K a month. The next month it was 50, then 60K. And then we jumped all the way directly to more than 100K in a month. But the problem is that, as many as you probably know who've been in e-commerce and more specifically dropshipping, is that when you go from low revenue, from basically having nothing to all of a sudden doing big numbers, thousands every single day, payment processors can get a little bit nervous because there's quite a history of many dropshippers running scams. I've personally met guys who do this, that they set up some random store and they start selling like Gucci or Louis Vuitton or whatever, but it's all fake or they don't sell anything at all. And fairly quickly they make like 50K and then they shut down the entire store and they don't ship any product at all. So what happened after a while of these scammers doing these things is that the payment processors started to pick up on this and they introduced some security procedures. So when payment processors see that all of a sudden, fairly quickly, you go from nothing to doing a lot, they want to make sure that you're legit, that you're actually not scamming people. Now, the thing is that PayPal, I would say, is one of the worst, if not the worst, payment processor when it comes to how they treat the vendor, so that's us. Because there's been a lot of cases in which all of a sudden, they freeze your funds without previous notice, and sometimes they don't even give you that many solutions to fix it. And back then, in 2018, 2019, one pretty standard deal that they had back in the day for dropshippers when they saw these big changes in revenue is that what they would do is to place a 30 to 50% hold on all the revenue that would come into your account for a period of 6 months. And if there were no disputes and everything was okay, after 6 months, you would receive this 30 to 50% that was on hold. I did hear some extreme cases of some people that got a 100% hold of their entire account and it lasted more than 6 months. But those are some extreme cases. It was not that common, at least in the circle that I was moving in. Now, I remember vividly the day that we got a call from PayPal because this happened exactly the first day that we made more than 10K in one single day. So I checked my phone, I saw the numbers, got pretty happy about it, but then a few hours later I got a call from PayPal and basically they wanted to put a hold on our account, do some kind of deal like the one I was explaining to you before. Now the thing is that when they told me about it and I was on the phone with them, they explained to me all of these things that I'm explaining to you, like, hey, you're a new business, you're doing drop shipping, it's kind of risky, we've had trouble in the past with people who are doing the same thing that you're doing right now, so we have to place a hold. It's almost like PayPal policy at this point. So at first, I think what they offered me is a 30% hold for like 3 or 4 months. The thing though is that I was on the phone with this girl from PayPal and when she told me this and I understood the reasons, I was like, okay, but can you go into my account and check the refund rate that we have right now? Because I'm not kidding you, we had sold like thousands of products, I don't remember how many, and we had only received 2 or 3 refunds. I'm not kidding you, which is pretty nuts for a dropshipping store or on any e-commerce store, period. And when the girl saw that, that's when things started to go more my way. And all the arguments that she was giving me, in a way, kind of went out of the window because we already had a solid track record that proved that we were doing the things the right way. And even though we were running like a risky business model, we were not a risky business ourselves. So long story short, I ended up talking to her more. She told me that she still had to give me a hold, but I was able to kind of persuade her. And what I ended up getting is a 10% hold for 2 months, 60 days, which if you compare it to what she initially wanted to give me is quite good. The hold is 3 times less and the time that's on hold is almost half. I was even able to find the email because I was looking for it before on my previous business email. Obviously it's in Spanish because I'm Spanish and I had a Spanish PayPal account, but as you can see, like 10% for 60 days. Now let's go to the important part, which is like you may be wondering, what is it that we were doing as an e-commerce store, as a dropshipping store to have such low refund rates? This is the interesting part, I would say. It's very simple and I would say it boils down to 3 core points. Obviously there's more to this, but I would say these 3 are at the top. So the first one, I would say it's very simple. It's good products. I always made sure that the things that we were going to sell had a good enough quality, and it was in something that was gonna break in 2 days. And this has a lot to do with the supplier that you're working with, both when it comes to the manufacturing process behind that product and how they handle it once it is in the warehouse. Because if their warehouse is a mess and they're just like throwing things around, no matter how good the quality of the product is, if you're just throwing it around, it's gonna break anyways. Which at least back in the day, it was common practice. Like a lot of suppliers, that's how they handled the products. So finding a good supplier with a good warehouse and a good manufacturing process, that was absolute key. Then a good supplier also relates to the second point, which is good shipping times. And this one's very obvious, and the standards nowadays have changed on what is considered good shipping times. But back in the day, in 2018, 2019, our competition used to do like 5-day shipping, 7-day shipping. Even some people used to do like 14-day shipping, which I think is absolutely crazy. But the supplier that we had was able to provide a 2-3 day shipping time all the way from China to the US. And this in 2018 was really, really good for us. And it made us look like a legit company, both in the eyes of the customer and in the eyes of the payment processors when we were trying to negotiate these kind of deals, because this actually helped us when we were dealing with the PayPal situation. And lastly, point number 3, when it comes to having low refund rates and high customer satisfaction, is clear communication with your customer. And both before the purchase and after the purchase. It was very clear to them what was going to happen after the purchase, how long it would take, what were the expectations, how they would receive the product. And after they purchase, we sent like really nice aesthetic emails that match the style of the website that we had. Like again, just repeating all the information, making everything very clear, very simple, very easy to understand. And we also gave them access to a package tracking tool that we had on our website. So there was a page in our website, like a custom URL that people could go to. And if they input their tracking number, it would have like a very beautiful map that would show where the order was at right now. And then below you could see like all the status updates. And it was way cooler than any of the other websites that you could go to, like the standards one. When you go to Google and you're like, oh, let me track my package, and you find like these general websites in which you can introduce any tracking code and they're gonna find your package for you. Well, the one that we had on our website was way better than any of those that you could find. We even had something that you could log in into your account. So you could have accounts in our e-commerce stores, and there was a section in which you can go to your orders and then directly access this tracking map. And also on top of that, related to clear communication, we had an amazing customer support team that I personally trained. And this is a long story, but we had like amazing customer support that we usually responded to any email in less than 6 hours. Very often it was like just 2-3 hours. So I might do a video on how I trained this customer support team, because it was actually pretty good. But long story short, like same thing. These really helped to keep the customers at peace if there was something that they were confused about when it comes to their order. So when you apply all of these principles together, plus some other things about marketing and building funnels, copywriting, etc., so many other things that you need, that's when you can truly get amazing results when it comes to building your online business. And that's how I was able to help guys, for example, like Jordi, to go from almost nothing all the way to more than 50K a month. So if you would be interested in me helping you with your online business, whether it's with your offer, your marketing, your funnels, your overall system, DM me on Instagram the word PayPal, to keep it in context within this video, so I know that you come from this video. So DM me the word PayPal on Instagram, and then we can have a quick chat to see how I could help your business. I'm gonna put a link below this video that you can click that will take you directly to my Instagram. So go do that. That's it for this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Subscribe to the channel, and that's it. Take care. I will see you very soon. Peace.